Today to day 2 on breaking the feeder calf. And what we're going to do, we're going to kind of go through some of the stuff we did on the first day. And we're kind of pushing this feeder calf pretty quickly here, so trying not to make it too long of a video. But with my halter and with the buttons on the pressure points, actually allows you to kind of go a little faster than you should. So today I'm going to just kind of push him around a little bit, get to 2 eyes. Good. And back driving from the hindquarters, stepping from the shoulders, back up, give me 2 eyes. Come to me. Okay. And when you get driving and you get control of those feet, helps you get control of direction. Now the first day we had the heifer in here, she was scared and a little nervous, and you can tell she's a lot more relaxed and more unmoving, don't seem to be quite as scared. And stepping on them buttons, boy, definitely stops her. Good. And she's want to get a little rowdy here, that's fine. I'll just keep moving around here a little bit. You're okay. Good. Good. So I'm going to work here on the desensitizer a little bit. Get her to calm down here. Good, you're all right. You're all right. You're all right. Yeah. And you got to always remember now, when you got a hold of them, release the halter, which I wasn't doing there, and she was, hold her. As soon as she quits moving, release. She moves, hold, release. Good girl. Yes, good. Yeah, like that, yeah. Okay. Dakota, come on in. I don't want to take all the fun from Dakota. And we're going to try to kind of hustle here. I want to do a lot of things with this calf, so we're going to move a little quick. Yeah. Dakota, just go ahead and walk around. There you go. And don't let him pass you if you can. And the heifer's a little rowdy today, so she got plenty of energy. But you can tell that the heifer's a lot calmer the second day, a lot calmer than she was the first day. And it's walking with Dakota pretty good. Okay, Dakota, go ahead and stop her. Pet her on her head. Okay, now ask her to back up. Just give her a couple of tugs. Back, there you go. Now pet her again. It's very important to get your feeder calf to be able to back up. If they only got one direction when things fall apart, it's forward, and they'll run over you and knock you down. If you got reverse and practice on reverse, and when they start to take off, you start backing them up, you can stop one from taking off and running off with you. Good job, Dakota. Pull her up a little bit, not back her up. And backing it up changes their mind on running off. It gets their brain thinking on backing up and forget about taking off and running off with you. I mean, this is incredible how well this heifer's doing. I mean, day 1 to day 2, Ain't the same heifer. Okay, stop her, Dakota, and back her up. Now pull her around, give her, yeah. Now pull her up, give her room to back. She hit the wall there. Now back her up again. Or him. Back up, there you go. There you go. Push him off of you if he wants to. There you go, now back him up. Good job. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to bring him outside the round pen and walk him in the indoor arena here. And he's probably going to take off, but we can see how quickly, Dakota can keep him under control. And, keep him under control. We got forward motion here. Even when he does take off a little faster than Dakota wants, which is good. He is walking forward. So let's bring him outside, Dakota. Now wait a minute, I just opened the door, give him a chance to kind of figure out what's going on. And that's the other thing, when you're breaking these guys, you got to try not to get in a rush, which we're rushing this calf anyway. But the door went open, now he's locking up a little bit because he's a little concerned in the door. There you go, good, that looks good. Watch it, he'll go out to there you go, good stop. Hang on to him now, he's free. You don't have these walls he's got more room here. Wait up for Skylar here. Okay, Dakota, just take him right on around. You gotta wrestle a little bit with him, that's okay, just stay with him. He's gonna want to take off, stop him. If you have to, back him up. Now stop him right there, Dakota. Now pet him. Doing really good. There you go, now walk. And this calf's starting to get up close to Dakota, so we're not really worried about right now, just getting forward motion. If he wants to walk beside Dakota, that's fine, which he's doing. He's a little worried about us behind him here, that's why he's looking behind. The camera guy was getting a little too close. Okay, stop him right there, Dakota. It's real important to pet these guys. You've got to pet them. Stop, lead a little bit and pet, start back up. With this halter, it gives you the ability to do some of these things because the calf understands. When them buttons touch on the pressure point for forward, he knows. He moves, it releases. Push on his nose, he backs up, and it releases. So, it's real important operating with the buttons. It's all about release. Cattle only learns from the release. Okay, just lead him right past me. There you go, good. He's getting better with two people. Go ahead and take him around one more time, Dakota, and we'll tie him up here and see what happens. Keep him on the other side, Dakota. There you go. Bring him right up here and let's tie him up. See what he does. go get a brush. Now, right there in that position, this thing has kind of kicked at me a couple of times, so I just waited. I was worried about walking behind that he might kick me. And what's great, tying it with my halter, they put pressure on, and then they'll hold it, but they'll kind of back off and don't argue with it. Move him around here so you can kind of get a little taste of it. There you go. Good. See how he backed off the buttons? He's going to try it again. But he still has the rope pretty loose. There you go. He backs up, get pressure on. And tying up your feeder calf is great. Now, I'm just not a person that feels they should be tied up for 6 hours at a time. I mean, you know, you tie them up and you keep them tied up for 6 hours, and then you ask them to move forward. Well, 6 hours I've been tied up. It's going to take me a few minutes to understand that I can walk when I feel pressure. You know, right now he feels pressure, he backs off, but he's not going to move the post. So I think, you know, you tie him up for an hour, turn him loose for a couple hours, tie him up for another hour. I just feel that, you know, in the beginning, tying him up for 5 to 6 hours at a time, I don't think it benefits a whole lot. Okay, good, okay, yeah. All right. And on the right side, we've been leading on the left, so he's not quite as desensitized here on the right side. So that's why he's kind of getting a little nervous and scared. And we have not brushed him. So when you're starting to brush, he stood there, back to the same thing, count to 5, back off. Don't brush him until he moves and then back off. Try to back off when he stands still. Then reapproach. You see right there when I went right away and started brushing without touching with my hand and relaxing, and the heifer or the steer got all upset, or the feeder calf. But so when I start this way, getting relaxed, and keep rubbing, and then I can put the brush in my hand here. And the way we got him tied up there is real simple for him to spin around and kick me. So, and he's done that a couple times. Okay, we'll back off. And you can see, even when this feeder calf gets upset, he's not really putting a lot of pressure on that halter. He hits the halter, backs off. Are you okay? Talk to your feeder calf. He's got those big ears, so he can hear what you're talking about. But always talk calm and relaxed, and unless he's doing something that then you change your voice, and then you can talk a little deeper and let him know that you're upset with him. But always finish up talking nice. You're okay. this feeder calf is really coming along here really well and doing good and relaxing, still having moments. So that's enough we're going to work right now on the brushing. Okay, now I'm going to try a little fly spray. Okay. I got desensitizing. And it's always good when you're starting out on spraying, put your hand on, rub, spray, rub, spray. And if I walk up here and say I'm going to spray, most of the time they take off. This feeder calf says, yeah, it's all right. And always remember, when you're doing something for the first time, then you retreat. Go back up, do it again, and retreat. You know, once they get broke to do the things that you're going to be doing with them, then it's fine. But this feeder calf's doing great, but just standing up here and spraying, and they get upset and everything falls apart, you're not teaching nothing. As soon as you back off the pressure, they relax. Which this feeder calf's doing very well. But you got to remember, this halter really helps, because when he does something wrong and the pressure says go another direction, he goes another direction, the animal gets rewarded and also understands what he did, what he was supposed to be doing. Now this right here, I'm not saying that, this is something you should do at home. I'm just showing you on desensitizing the legs. In the chute sometimes can be better. You gotta be real careful with desensitizing, and this calf has the ability to spin around and kick. So, but if it seems like it's okay, just take a rope where it wraps around, and I'm actually touching this leg without getting my body in the position down there where the calf could actually run over top of me. So if she gets excited, I can be right up here and get away. You can sit there and just doing this treatment right here. I am desensitizing this leg, I'm touching it, I'm rubbing it, but I'm back here in a place where I'm safe. If this calf gets upset, all I gotta do is look over the rope and get out of the way. But if I'm down there leaned over and trying to rub with my hands, and this thing moves, and it can jump on top of me, you can get hurt. Now it can jump all at once here, and it's gonna have a tough time to get a hold of me. And she seems pretty good with it. Now I'm going to put a little pressure on it and see what happens there, and try to lift it up. And hold it. Lift, hold, down. Hold, down. You're okay. Good. 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 You're okay. Good. And here in a second, she'll hold it up and won't argue with it. She'll just hold it up. And I ask you to. Good. 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 Now today I'm just going to do desensitize both legs here on the right. But the same thing over on the left. And you can do this for a long time. It don't have to be done this quick. Now the back legs is a whole other story. They couldn't give me a stick or something so I could reach down and pull this, or rake or something. And this is the leg that he likes to kick. I got to get at it. And now here I am rubbing the back leg. I mean, just look at this feeder calf. I mean, scared a little bit. And you can see how this halter, where it's okay, where this rope is loose. You know, I'm desensitizing her back leg, and she's a little nervous, but she ain't arguing with that halter. The halter says stand there. Okay, let it back down. Good. Okay, now he says he doesn't like this treatment. Good. And he gets kicking a whole lot, just let her leg go. But the thing of it is, a lot of times we get kicked by these feeder calves is because you touch the spine back here because it's not desensitized, and the feeder calf kicks you in the face or kicks you in the stomach. But when you desensitize it here at a safe distance with the rope, now when I get back there and touch her in an area here or whatever, you see right there, a few more treatments like this, that's not the first thing this feeder calf's going to do is try to kick me. And this feeder calf's doing great. I mean, what we have accomplished off its mommy, and we have not done no work, just what we did the first day and what we're doing today. This is what this halter does for you. This is what the understanding it gives to your animal. Now, desensitizing the back leg must be done a few more times. Now, we've done a lot of stuff today. Now, what I'm going to finish up here with, you know, after you work your feeder calf, doing the things that I'm showing you here, and this feeder calf, before he goes to fair, is going to have to learn how to take a bath, okay? So the biggest thing is, after you work them, now this feeder calf's not really that hot, but in the beginning, few days, try to get them to spray them off. When it starts feeling good, because you've worked them and they're a little hot, then the next time you start actually working on giving the bath, you've already got that started, and you've also made your feeder calf cool and happy. So what we're going to do is finish up today with it, and I'm going to spray it off and with the water hose, and we'll put it up. But you can see how she's standing here and really pretty relaxed, and she has not argued with this halter, and this rope is loose. And most time you tie your feeder calf up, they're going to wrestle, they're going to fight, they're going to argue. But if they got a halter on, that will not release from pressure when they tighten it up. A lot of times they're fighting trying to get oxygen. If something tightens down on their nose, and the more they pull, the more it tightens and it doesn't release, after a while, they got to breathe. This halter doesn't do that. So then you got a feeder calf that is relaxed. If she stands right there, the buttons are off of her, and she understands that to stand right there. You're okay. Good girl. Good. Like I said about tying up, tying your feeder calves up fine, but they don't need to be tied up for 6 hours. I mean, when a calf's tied up for 6 hours and you say, let's go, well, I've been pulling that post a couple of times, I can't go, so why should I be able to go when you ask me to go? Good. 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 Turn that water. Yeah. You're all right. You're okay. And make sure who's ever doing this is, you know, grown up, or you're a kid, that you get experience to do this. Because these guys can jump around and kick at me, trying to fight the water, run over top of me. But when you're first starting, just touch it, get away. Get away. Touch, get away. Touch, get away. Here in a second, the feeder cat's going to say, hey, that water's okay. And just make her stay a little bit longer, and then take it away. And you see the feeder cat starting to relax a little bit. Oh, that feels good. And if you can, if you're giving your feeder cat his first bath, try to do it this way. I mean, tie him up to the wall and give him his first bath, and he's fighting to get away. You know, it doesn't really teach him a whole lot. I mean, if this calf wants to take off, I've got the halter on, he ain't gonna run away. I'll stop him and we start back over again. But to tie him to the wall and say, here, take it, get used to it, I don't know, I think it's just a little too much. Sometimes it works good, but you can see this works good too. And if it was too much, it just takes off. I can stop him with my halter. This is the side we're not walking on. This side is not quite as desensitized. Now you see him, he hits the buttons and he stops. Hit the buttons and stops. In your first few baths, you know, just get him wet. Don't make it a long time. I mean, look at this cat. Here now, you're doing good, my friend. Good. Good. And the thing of it is, if your feeder cat wants to take off like that, with my halter, they can take off. Just shut him down and start back up. Good, good boy. Come on here. Good. Good. Just rub his head. Good. He's still a little funny with two of us. Good, right there, good. I want to let everybody know this is the end of day 2. And we got one more day. We're going to take the feeder calf outside on day 3. And just want to let everybody know, check your legs.